What makes the difference between a future you're excited about and a future you're anxious about? The answer lies in neuroscience. So here's what you need to know. Your brain and my brain spends more of its time predicting the present moment rather than living the present moment. So we spend more of our life predicting what's coming next rather than experiencing what actually is. How does this work? Well, essentially, your brain decides how you're going to feel and therefore how you're going to act in any given moment based upon past memories. It looks back at past memories in a split of a second, adds all that shit together, and then predicts that this is how this next moment's going to go, and it prepares you for the next moment based upon those past memories. Now, the problem with this is that if your memories in the back are a collection of things that didn't work so well, it's going to project you into an uncertain and anxious future, yeah? So if you want to have not an anxious future, but a future you're excited about, you need to make sure that by the time you get to that future event, your brain has some really good quality memories to draw from in order to put you in the most resourceful state mentally, emotionally, and physically when you get there. So how do you do that? You do that by creating what are called future memories. How do we do that? It's actually very simple. Get a piece of paper. First thing I want you to do on that piece of paper is write down a big event in your future that you want to prepare yourself for. You want to cognitively prime yourself for. You want to create future memories for, that your brain will then draw upon in order to make sure you are most resourceful in that time in the future. So write down an event. The next thing you want to write down and get clear about is who do you want to be in that time, in that place, at that moment in time, yeah? Who do you want to be? And how do you want to be acting? What do you want to be doing in that present moment? And therefore, what do you want to get out of that present moment? So what do you want to be when you're in that future? And what do you want to be doing when you're in that future? Write that down. And then you want to ask yourself, why is it important for you to be that person doing those things in that future event? Why is it important to you to be that person, to be doing those things in that future event? The more emotionally charged you make this, by the way, the more deeply embedded, deeply encoded that future memory is going to become. So write that down. Who you're going to be, what you're going to be doing in that time. And then I want you to do is this. I want you to write down a list of things that could fuck you up, that could trip you up, curveballs, what problems could arise in that future time. Write down all of the things that could go wrong. And then finally, I want you to write down next to the problems a potential solution, at least one solution. What can you do to turn that problem into an opportunity? How can you flip the script on each of those problems? So again, write down what is the future thing, the event in the future you want to perform better in. Then I want you to ask yourself, who do I need to be? What do I need to be doing in order to perform best in that future event? Then I want you to ask yourself, why is it important for me to be that person doing those things in order to have the thing I want from that future event? And then I want you to write down what could go wrong, what are all the problems that could go wrong that could prevent me from making that a successful completion towards a successful completion. And finally, on each of those problems, flip the script. What am I going to do that's going to make that not a problem? What is the turnaround I can make in that time? Once you've done that, this is how you start building the future memory. You want to fantasize, you want to daydream, you want to imagine, you want to be lucid about it, and think of yourself occasionally, and by occasionally I mean every single day as often as you can. I want you to think about yourself in that future event, daydream about it, close your eyes if it helps. Float into your body into that future event, that person you said you wanted to be, doing those things in order to have the success you want in that event. And as you're doing that, you're imagining that future event unfolding and you're clear about why it's important for you to be that person, doing those things in order to have that thing you want in the future. I want you to imagine one by one the problems arising and you surmounting the problem, you getting over the problem. And once you're over the problem, go back to being the person you want to be in that time. Notice how you feel when you are that person in that time and why it is important for you to be it. Then imagine another problem arising. And again, imagine the turnaround. What are you going to do? Why is that not a problem? What is the jump you're going to make to get over that hurdle? Loop that again and again in your brain. The bigger the event, the bigger the memory you need to build, the future memory you need to build, that your brain will then attach itself to when you get to that future event in reality. Make sense? If it doesn't, watch the video back again. But essentially, we're building future memories because we know that our brain is a prediction-making machine that will decide how we're going to be, how we're going to act, how we're going to feel in any given moment based upon past memory. So before we get to that big event, let's build some really powerful future memories that we know our brain can lock into and go, wow, bang, let's crush this.